Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today I am filming my very first book haul of 2021. Now, I have a few things to say before I get into this video. One, we have a change of scenery. Two, I am not wearing any makeup. I don't know if anyone notices, I don't know if anyone cares, but today I have got a workout, so I was like, well, there's no point putting it on to take it off. Makeup is expensive, and do you know what? My natural face is alright. And three, this video is a lot more chilled, I reckon, than a usual main video. I don't know, I hope you still enjoy it, I hope you still like it. We're still going to talk about books. You never know, maybe the next one I'll be sat back in front of my shelves. But let's just get straight on into this haul. So in the month of January, I did buy all 12 of these books, and yes, it seems a bit excessive, but most of them were bought with gift vouchers. And a couple of them are pre-orders that came through, so I'm guessing you want to see what I've got. The first book I'm going to talk about is Cursed, which is an anthology, I think that's what they're called when there's loads of different authors, but the ones that piqued my interest for this was Neil Gaiman and Christina Henry. I don't really know a lot about this. I kind of saw Christina Henry and Neil Gaiman and went, yeah, I want to buy that. I didn't even write the whole book. But the back says, all the better to read you with. It's a prick of blood, the bite of an apple, the evil eye, a wedding ring, or a pair of red shoes. Curses come in all shapes and sizes, and they can happen to anyone, not just those with unpopular step-parents. Here you'll find unique twists on curses, from fairy tale classics to brand new hexes of the modern world. Expect new monsters and mythologies, as well as twists on well-loved fables, stories to shock and stories of warning, stories of monsters and stories of magic. And there's a load of different authors on the back of here, many of which I don't actually know. But there are 20 timeless folk tales, new and old, with a range of different authors. This sounded really good. I'm not a massive retellings fan, I say that, but I love Christina Henry and her main bread and butter is retellings, so I take that back. I do like a good retelling, but I don't often reach for them. Now, because these are all short stories, I thought maybe that would be a better idea, and also I get to try out a load of different authors that I don't know. That is something that I do enjoy about these sorts of books, is that you get to read from a wide variety of authors, so you might find someone else that you like to read. I don't know, I'm really looking forward to reading this. I don't know, I just thought it'd be a really good one to add to my collection. So the next book I'm going to talk about is one that I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned before, and that is the Evercruel Kingdom by Rin Chepeko. So this is the sequel to The Never Tilting World, which I read last month and I really enjoyed. I've got the audiobook of this ready to go, and that is how I plan to read it. I'm hoping to get to it this month, but I think at the minute a lot of my audio, when I have time to read audibly, I watch BookTube instead, so it's one of them. But this is following on from the first book, and in the first book, so I can't tell you a lot about this because it'll give away the stuff from the first book. In the first book, we're following 4 different perspectives. 2 of those are goddesses and 2 of them are their companions, and it's pretty much following them as they travel to make the world better, as years ago there was a thing called the breaking, and that is when the earth stopped spinning. It's a really good book, I really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that I enjoy the second one just as much. I'm hoping this answers some of my questions that I have from the first book, but I actually prefer this over, what else have I read by Rin Chepeko? I read Wicked As You Wish, and I actually prefer this to that. This makes a little bit more sense to me. I am also hoping to get to the Bone Witch trilogy at some point because I am interested in reading that as well. So looking forward to getting to this, hopefully this month. So the next 2 are part of a series that I've already started, and that is The Vanishing Stair and The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. These are the second and third books in the Truly Devious series. The 4th one, The Box in the Woods, I think that's what it's called. It's coming out in June this year, so I'm hoping to actually get through these before then so I can finish the trilogy. These were a little bit of a panic buy if I'm honest, because The Vanishing Stair, which is the second one, kept going in and out of stock on Amazon as a hardcover, and I have the first one in hardcover, and I didn't want to get the next ones in paperback if I was going to get the 4th one in hardcover, so it's a whole big thing. Same happened with the other series that I bought. I ended up caving and buying them before I was actually like 100% ready to read them. However, I think I will get to these pretty soon because I am in a bit of a thrillery kick at the minute. Like, I can't seem to concentrate on anything else if it doesn't have this many twists and turns in, so We shall see. Hopefully I'm getting to these soon. So these books are obviously following on from the first book, so I can't say an awful lot about these because one, I haven't read them, and two, I don't want to spoil anything that happens in the first book. But in the first book, we are following our main character Stevie Bell as she goes to an academy called Ellingham Academy, which is a school for kids who are like academically gifted, and it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a pretty freeing place to be, if I'm honest. But Ellingham Hall hasn't always just been a school, it is also the place for a very heinous crime. When the school was originally built, it was run by a gentleman called Albert Ellingham, and one day his wife and his daughter go for a drive and they never come back, and the only clue that was left from the kidnapping is a note from someone who names himself Truly Devious, and it was a poem of how they would kill his family pretty much, and it's pretty bad. But I really enjoyed the first book. I think I gave it 5 stars, I can't remember. I really enjoyed it, so I'm interested to see how these do and how much I enjoy them. So hopefully I'm getting to them before June. The next book is a book I've been meaning to read for a while, and that is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is the very first book in the Mistborn trilogy. If you keep up with my vlogs and my wrap-up, you will have seen that I've already read Skyward by Brandon Sanderson and I loved it, and I thought that was the perfect place for me personally to start because it is more sci-fi, it's around spaceships, it's all the stuff that I'm really into at the minute. But this is the first book in his very widely known Mistborn series. I don't know an awful lot about this, and I don't want to know an awful lot about this. I think the way I've heard this book described is what if the bad guy won, and that intrigues me enough. Like, I don't need to know anything else. I also know that loads of people are massively into Brandon Sanderson. He is a very big author now. He is, you know, well known by a lot, and loads of people seem to really enjoy him, so I'm hoping I will too. Yeah, if you want to know more about this book, please click the Goodreads links down below. They're always there when I talk about books because I know my descriptions are not the best, but that's fine. So yes, I'm hoping to get to this at some point soon. The next book was a pre-order for me, and that is A Vow So Bold and Deadly, which is the third and final book in the A Curse So Dark and Lonely trilogy. Funnily enough, I don't actually own the first book. I read the first book from the library, bought the second one because it was on offer, and now I've pre-ordered this one. And I should really buy the first one, otherwise I can't take any aesthetic photos for Bookstagram. I also really want to reread it, if I'm honest. I tried to read the second one earlier last year, I think, and I just didn't do it, so now I feel as though I should really reread the first book to then get on to these ones. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I really like these, the holographic. So yes, this is the third and final book. I don't know much about it. I can't tell you any spoilers from the second book because I haven't read it. But in the first one we are following, I think it's like 3 perspectives maybe, but the whole gist is that we are following a young girl called Harper from Washington DC, and she is on the lookout for her brother one night, very late at night, and she sees a man seemingly taking advantage of a young woman, so she kind of steps in with a really big pole to beat him up, and she ends up waking up in a completely different world. It is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It is pretty good. I remember really enjoying it. Well, I must have enjoyed it, otherwise I wouldn't have bought the third book. So yes, I seriously need to reread a lot in order to get to this. I'm not sure. I really do remember what happened in the first book, so I think I might just get on to the second book and then read this next, and then buy the first one when I get around to it. But I am looking forward to getting to this. I don't have a lot to say, if I'm honest. I just can't wait to read this. Same as all these books on this list, and probably every book on my bookshelf. The next book is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I am reading this for a group read over on Instagram, and I'm glad it came up because I've been meaning to buy this. I love the idea of this book, I just haven't kind of bit the bullet and bought it. So this book is about a young girl called Avery, and she has come from nothing, and then one day she finds out that a billionaire has left his entire estate to her, which she's rather confused about. So when she goes to move into the mansion, she moves in with his remaining family, and they are obviously a little bit miffed that he has not left them anything. And soon she becomes trapped in a deadly game where the winner takes all. And if that doesn't pique your interest to read this book, then I don't know what will. Again, I am on a very big thrillery kick at the minute, so that's probably why I want to read this. But I just can't wait. I'm looking forward to reading this month. I'm hoping it's going to be good. It looks amazing. Personally, I prefer the American cover, but this spine is pretty amazing. Got to be said, it's all foiled and stuff. But yeah, can't wait to get to this. Really hoping I'm going to enjoy it. The next two are once again another series, but this is the second and third in a trilogy, and that is Kingsbane and Lightbringer by Claire Legrand. I haven't read the first book, if I'm completely honest. I think that's fine. Once again, I kept seeing these going in and out of availability in the hardbacks, and I have the first book in hardback. And if I had known it was going to take me so long to read them, I would have just bought the paperback versions, but I also kind of really like the hardback editions. I'm bummed that this is white because it has already picked up dirt. Like, that wasn't mine. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's like scuffs along here just from the box it was packaged in, which sucks. But the other thing I've noticed about these books is that they become, I think it's from where I buy them from. So the first one I got off, I got them all off Amazon. The first one I got, it has deckled edges, embossing, all that fun stuff. This one doesn't have the deckled edges, but it does have like the raised lettering kind of thing. And then this one came from Book Depository, no deckled edges, and it doesn't even have the raised letters. Like, it's like they degraded them slightly as they went through the series. But yes, I haven't actually read the first book, so I'm not massively sure what it's about, but this is the second and third books. So what I do know is that the first book we're following two women across different centuries, I think. And it sounds really amazing. These are obviously the second and third books, so I've got no idea what they're about. I don't want to tell you either. I don't know, and I don't want to spoil myself, but they are gonna look stunning on my shelf. I mean, technically it's that way. And then Fury Born is black. It's like a black cover, but they've all got like these little sword things on the side, which is pretty cool. So yeah, can't wait to get to them as well. We have 3 more left. I hope you're sticking with me. I don't really know how this video is going to turn out. I'm a little bit worried it's going to look like a mess because I'm not made up. I'm sat on my couch. The light keeps changing. I really don't know, but thank you for sticking with me if you've got this far. But anyways, the next book is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I am currently reading her Broken Earth trilogy and loving it. I saw that this was being reprinted in the hardcover edition, so I had to order it, and I pre-ordered it, and I think it took like a week or so to come through, which is still pretty good. All I know about this one is that it is as if New York is a person. In Manhattan, a grad student gets off the train and realises he doesn't remember who he is, where he's from, or even his own name, but he can sense the beating heart of the city, see its history, and feel its power. In the Bronx, a gallery director discovers strange graffiti scattered throughout the city, so beautiful and powerful it's as if the paint is calling to her. In Brooklyn, a politician and mother finds she can hear the songs of her city pulsing to the beat of her Louis Vuitton heels, and they're not the only ones. Every great city has a soul. Some are ancient as myths, and others are as new and destructive as children. New York City, she's got 6, so that's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to reading this, and also that cover is just stunning. Can't wait to get to this. Hopefully get to this soon. I'm going to say that about every book. I have said that about every book at this point now, I think. But yeah, we shall see when I get to this. The second to last book that I bought was The Stern Sky by N.K. Jemisin. As I was just saying, I am reading her Broken Earth trilogy and I'm loving it. This I am reading this month. I will be finishing the trilogy. I cannot wait to find out what happens. I'm psyched. So there isn't a lot that I can really say without giving it away, because I find every single description I have of the first book, I just butcher it. So trying not to butcher it. The first book, we are following 3 different perspectives. We are following a mother who is looking for her daughter. We are following a young girl who has just discovered that she is an origin, which is someone who can connect to the powers within the earth and use them to like break rocks and do other fantastic things. And the third is someone who is part of the origin kind of army, I would say. It's called the Fulcrum, and we're following her through one of her missions, and I really loved the first book. I really loved the second book. I'm hoping this wraps it all up. Every book has been 4 stars, I think, and I'm wondering if the third and final book will actually, I don't know, push it over to that 5-star point. But even if it is only a 4-star, that's still pretty good going. I can't wait to just finish this series. And the final book is one that I have mentioned in a previous vlog. It was gifted to me by someone on Instagram, and that is the Good Girl Bad Blood second book to the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This was gifted to me by a lovely girl called Caitlin over on Instagram. Her @ is Kate Reads, and she said that once I'd finished the first one, I'd want to get onto the second one, and I finished the first one last night, and she was so right. I just want to get started on this one. So I think this is following on from the first book. The first book, we are following a girl called Pip, and she is investigating a murder that happened in her town 5 years ago. She's doing her project on it, and it does get quite dangerous towards the end, and oh, I just loved it. It was so good. It was a very high 4 stars for me. I'm hoping this one is the same. Again, I can't tell you what happens in this. 1, I don't know, and 2, I don't want to give away any spoilers that happened in the first book, but I loved it, and I can't wait. Keep an eye out for my wrap up to see more, maybe more in-depth thoughts. I don't really know. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah. That is all 12 books I've purchased in the month of January and ish the start of February. I hope you've enjoyed. I can't wait to get to all of these books. Some of them, actually all of them, I think are going to be amazing. So I can't wait to see what I think. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Really supports me and my channel. Leave me a comment down below if you've bought any books recently, or if any of the books that I've bought recently or ones you want to get to as well. And if you want to see more of me and see when and if I do actually read these books that I've bought, please consider subscribing down below and ringing the bell so you get a notification every time I upload content. Come and join my bookish corner of the internet. But that is everything for today's video. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.